Happy Monday! What's up with this, man? The fans want to see it. Okay, happy Monday, everybody. It's Chris and Lee with your real estate, mortgage, interest rate, programs, loans, all kinds of stuff, update. But a lot of it's going to be determined by what you have for questions. So if you have home loan questions, how to buy a house, where to start, what it takes, what do you need, make sure to ask us because we will answer and get you on the right path of home ownership. Also, you should probably know this. Yesterday was Easter. Happy Easter yesterday. But all the questions in real estate, please let us know. We want to help you guys on the right path and get you guys going.
Trying to get a house in 2024. We're here to help you. Is that on it? Is. We're here to help you. Where are you guys at? We go live every Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard from 11:30 to 12:30 to answer your questions. We have solved a lot of escrows that went south. They come to us. We fix them. There's been a lot of people that came in with no money. We help them get that zero down program.
So you have 3 legs to a loan, guys. You have income. We can help you with that. Assets. We can help you with that. And credit. We can help you with that. So it's called the Chris and Lee 1, 2, 3. So if this is something you're interested in, just let us know. We'll walk you down the path.
So where are you guys at? South Dakota? Appreciate you. Oh, by the way, we are on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm from Delhi, India, sir. How can I invest in the United States? Very good. Mamba Kobe 24. It's a little suspicious, I'm going to be honest. The reason is because Kobe Bryant was called the Mamba. And if you're from New Delhi, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, I actually own land in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Love that area. Oh my God, the sunsets are amazing. From New Delhi, or from Delhi.
And his number was 24, so it's very suspicious.
Very.
I call those people fans.
That's kind of cool. No, he was badass, man. He was something. He was
Christian
something to watch.
Bowden, how long do you have to wait to get a loan after a bankruptcy?
I'm gonna answer both of these. India, you can invest right now. We actually have a program called the Foreign Nationals Program, and on the look at the count. When the Foreign Nationals Program, we are able. I'm a Kobe fan. Yes, love it. I was Kobe fan too. Kobe's amazing. So the Foreign Nationals Program, you don't have to be a United States citizen. We just have to. We apply you as a foreign national, and if you're here under a V, I did a V26 visa the other day or 2 weeks ago, and it went perfect, just smooth as butter, just smooth. The difference on a foreign national program is usually the down payment. So you can have a higher down payment because you're not a U.S. citizen. They can't chase you. You can go back to wherever. So the foreign national program is available. How long do you have to wait after a bankruptcy? If you have a BK13, and you've made your payments on time, after you've done enough payments, I can literally finance you while you're in the bankruptcy. You don't even have to have it finished. It's not even finalized. BK13. If you have a BK7, 2 years for FHA, 4 years for Fannie Freddie. So that's kind of the rule. There is a extenuating circumstances situation where you can do it in 1 year. Let me teach you what extenuating circumstances is not. I got a divorce and my bills went bad. That's not an extenuating circumstance. It's something you or your spouse caused. An extenuating circumstance is, hey, Hurricane Katrina wiped out my entire industry and now I'm back on my feet. That's an extenuating circumstance. So I can do it after 1 year. I have them after 1 year, but people like, well, you don't understand. I quit my job and I didn't have no income. Yeah, that was your own doing. So extenuating circumstances usually boils down to something happened and it affected you. Navy Mom Donna, great to see you on Instagram, Facebook. Love you guys. TikTok, thank you very much. A lot of people watching. and YouTube. Damn, crickets, man.
Yeah, always. Mama Kobe, I'm going to tell you how to buy a house. Okay, so like Lee said, you're going to use a program called Foreign National. What that means is you're not a citizen of the United States, but you'd like to buy a house here and real estate here in the United States. What you're going to do is put somewhere between a 20 to 30% down payment. Okay, that depends on a few different factors. Then you're going to prove that you have income. And then based on those two things, we can let you know how much you can buy. So that's basically it. What you're going to need to do, time for a commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officer, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by calling the number on the screen. But here's a hint. Don't call while we're live because we're live. Yeah, we'll answer after we're done with the live. Bye.
Or you can go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now. You can actually start the process while we're still talking. AI Tattoos recently got denied for a home loan due to late payments. My credit is 550s, 9K, 20% down. 90K income, 20% down. 20% down, 550s? Lee, can we handle that?
Maybe. Well, here's the issue. And I get this a lot. Like, hey, I automatically qualify if I have money or if I've got a 580 FICO. No, you don't.
Or
no,
income.
no. Or income. Yeah. No, you don't. Why? Because credit is how you've managed debt in the past. So I had somebody who said, hey, I got a 584 FICO. And I'm like, cool, let's see what we can do. Pull the FICO. There's 7 active collections, like last month. Like someone's after them last month. And I said, so these are active collections. Yeah, but I have a 584 FICO. Yeah, but the bank sees this and they see how you manage debt. If you do not pay back the debt that you borrow, nobody wants to lend you money anymore. It's not that difficult. Now, sometimes the debt is old. If it's like, hey, that's the old Lee. Old Lee used to not pay debts. The new Lee pays debts. And then the new Lee, I showed 24 months I've been paying debts on time. Cool. It hasn't reflected in the credit score, but the underwriter sees my habit of paying debt. So, if you have a problem, there are a few ways to deal with it. The best way, if you go to credit repair company, they're going to go, okay, this thing is going to haunt you forever. This trade line, okay? So let's just say ABC Inc. is just going to haunt you forever. So because it's going to haunt you for the next 10 years, not this year, not next year, I can see things that you did bad 10 years ago. So the credit repair company is going to go, hey, you know what? Why don't we just get rid of the entire trade line? You're like, well, but I've made a few payments on time. No, that thing hurts you. Let's get rid of the entire trade line. And then they go through and they figure out how they can, through the system, get rid of the trade line so it doesn't exist anymore. And that's how you get your FICO score. However, if you've got certain things that are current and they're chasing you right now, nobody's going to lend you money. Nobody. Because they know what you'll do. They know what you do.
Yep, absolutely. AI Tattoos, so the answer is we can do a loan in the 550s. Absolutely. As long as everything else lines up and the income is there and it makes sense and we can get an approval, we can move forward with your 20% down. That's the key. So FHA is the way to go. If you're going to go that route, give us a call. You know the phone number. Link in the bio if you want to apply for a home loan now. Stick Mike, how do I reach out for your help? We just did that.
Cool. We're here
this
for
one's
you, man.
Funny.
Okay.
You're probably dumb. Said, you can flip the TikTok mirror effect, by the way.
All right. Yeah. So I appreciate
love
you
that.
bringing that. No, they're trying to help us tech. So they're trying to help us.
But his name is You're Probably Dumb.
Yeah, you're probably
dumb. And then
dumb.
he's saying, did you know this?
Yeah, did you know this? You're probably dumb. You're probably dumb. You're probably dumb. You're probably dumb. Here's what's going on. We've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We got literally 4 cameras pointing at us, and some of them flip it and some of them don't, and that's how we deal with it.
Yeah, user 6131. Is there any way to avoid or lessen PMI if you get close to 20% down, like 15%?
Yes.
Good question.
That's a very, very, very good question, user 6131. And I got a very, very good answer for you. A very good answer.
You already answered it.
I did?
You said yes.
Yes. It's automatic. It's automatic. The minute I put in the amount that you're putting down, I shop your MI. MI is not automatic. Mortgage insurance. I shop your MI. So I put you in, like when we shop, we probably shop 10 different MI companies through an algorithm, and it gives me the top 5. And I'm like, hey, I can get your MI for 0.28 or 0.29, and I go with the lowest MI because MI is MI. So I just go with the lowest MI. The more money you put down, once I build the file that way, I shop the MI, and it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. The most important part when it comes to MI is your credit score. Your credit score. People are like, hey, can I do 3% down conventional? And I say, yeah, you can, but it only makes sense if you got a very high credit score. Why? Because all loans are based off of risk. And the less money you put down, the more risk to the bank. So you better have a great FICO score to compensate for that risk. Because if you don't, if you have a 621 FICO and you want to put 3% down, the MI is going to be 1.30, 1.5. It's going to get ridiculous.
Yeah. User 6131, there you go. Jackie Maureen Katz, thank you for the follow.
We appreciate you, Jackie.
Eva Williams, what's the interest rates today?
Today, do you even know what they are today? Do you even know? Well, I can't tell you what your interest rate, but I can tell you that New American Funding is putting out the interest rate of 5.625. Wait, what? 5.625. Don't believe me? Go to the link at the top of our bio. Go to cool stuff and then today's interest rates. You'll see what I'm looking at right now. 5.625 for a 15-year conventional. 30-year FHA, 5.75. 30-year VA, 5.75. Is that your quote? Not in a million years. The only way I can quote you is pull your credit, calculate your income, figure out your assets, and build your file, and then I can give you your quote. Not an offer to lend. We are just telling you what the New American Funding website is putting out to the world. We're here for you.
A villain. I want to know if that's true.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, 80K salary, no debt. How much house can someone afford?
80K salary.
No, but no debt. That's a
80K,
villain. I don't care if you're a villain. You're doing a good job financially.
80K. You're probably starting at $350,000, but there's something that's very important that's going to factor into that overall buying power, and that is, where are you buying? And the reason I need to know where is because property tax base can get really expensive. I did one in Buda, Texas, where the property tax was 3.67, ridiculously high.
Insane.
In California, it's usually about 1.2 to 2.1. What's the highest you've seen in California? Beaumont?
3.
You've seen 3 in Beaumont?
Well, I have a 3.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, okay, cool. In the rich area?
2.8.
All right, cool.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, it can get ridiculously high. But there's some other places like Mena, Arkansas, where the tax base is 0.60. Amazing.
That.
Yeah, love that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so if you buy a house in Mena, Arkansas, I heard it's beautiful.
So what does that
Absolutely
do?
Beautiful.
So if your rate is high, what does it do? If your rate is low, what does it do? Like, share with them.
Okay, so if my rate is
Tax
high.
rate.
Oh, tax rate. Okay. So let's say I'm getting you a $400,000 house. $400,000 across the country, except in California, you can get a $400,000 house. Okay, $400,000 house. And let's say that the tax base is 1.2%. Okay, so 1.2% on a $400,000 house is going to be about $300 a month, somewhere in that range, 300 and change. But if I went from 1.2 to 3.6, that $300 a month just turned into $900 a month. And that $900 a month mandatory property taxes is it on DVD?
Yeah.
That $900 mandatory property taxes is going to eat into your buying power and drop your buying power, your purchasing power.
Pure Blood. Hello, fellas. Hello,
What's
Pure
up,
Blood.
Pure Blood? 82.
Think that's his age?
No.
Okay. Roxy, could you make an income in one state and get a loan and purchase in another state?
Yes, we do it all the time. I closed one for a client of mine. She works as a nurse in San Bernardino, and she lives in Las Vegas. So for those of you who knows the lay of the land, that's about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive, unless you drive really fast, in which case it's a 2.5 hour drive, but it's about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive. Her family and she was raised in Las Vegas, but she got a great job making a boatload of money in San Bernardino. So she rented a small apartment in San Bernardino and goes home every weekend. Well, I had to justify to the underwriter, hey, why is my home in Las Vegas, Nevada, but my work in San Bernardino? So I had to justify it. I had to say, hey, her mom's here, her dad's here, her dog's here, her boyfriend's here. Everything is in Las Vegas, Nevada. She just comes down Monday through Friday to work and then goes back. And then the underwriter said, okay, prove it. How do you prove it? Oh, real cool. You get gas when you go to Las Vegas? Of course you do. All right, cool. Then it's going to show up on your credit card statements, right? You say you're there every weekend. Pull your credit card statements. Let me see that you bought gas or groceries or anything. Went out to eat. Show me that over the last however long you've been doing this, that you actually go to Vegas. Not that you're making up a story. Show me. Cool. Show me that your mom and dad live in Vegas. All right, cool. Show me your Facebook that shows you and your sweetheart in Vegas. I'm just kidding. They didn't go that far. But they do check the bank statements to make sure that the story makes sense. And then if I can make it make sense, boom, all day long, funded the loan.
Love it. Dakota Bradshaw, how long does it take to underwrite a USDA loan? I got a new build in Texas, 2.6%. Hope that's good for a 21-year-old FTB. That's pretty badass, man. 21 years old buying a new home?
Yeah, that's pretty
Very
badass.
badass.
Yeah. Best city in Texas to move to? I'm going to say...
Well, you got to answer this question.
Okay, cool. How long does USD underwriting take? USD underwriting? 48 hours right now? 48,
Yeah.
72 hours
Yeah.
maybe? So it should go real fast, but don't get confused. Underwriting is not when you get the documents in. Because people think when they give us the loan, they give us the documents, that they went to underwriting. They didn't. So what happens is I have to build the loan. I have to pull your credit, calculate your income, check your assets, make sure that the property is USDA qualified. And then after all that, then I run it through something called GUS. And GUS is an AUS, Automated Underwriting System. So I run it through GUS and I get an approval. Once I get an approval, I package that whole thing up and I say, hey, Mr. Underwriter, this is a package loan. Can you underwrite it? And then they're going to check everything that I said. And if I'm good, that's pretty quick. And they'll come back and say, approve. So it's usually about 48 hours, 24, 48. The most I've seen is 72. But the mortgage system is not backed up right now. So it's pretty quick. But don't confuse that with the loan officer originates, the processor processes, the underwriter underwrites. Those are three different segments of the loan. Where it usually gets stuck, loan officer. And usually it's either because you have not a great loan officer or you didn't give all the docs. Many times people will give me they'll miss 1 year of taxes. They're like, well, I've given you everything. Yeah, not your W-2 for 2023. So I cannot move forward. I'm stuck. You may blame it on me, but it's not on me. I've told you I need the W-2. As soon as you get me the W-2, it goes into line. Truth is, I want to get through this fast. I don't want to wait on docs, but 90% of my loans are waiting on docs. 90%. You agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. 1806. There you go. Best city in Texas to move to. Go!
So right now, I would have to say Buda, Texas. Buda. The reason is that there is something, Elon Musk is putting the Boring Corporation in Buda, Texas. The Boring Corporation looks to be a very unbelievably big corporation as soon as it gets its legs underneath it. Now, the Boring Corporation builds cities underground. Wait, what? Yes, mass transit systems and cities underground. And their headquarters are in Buda, Texas, and that's just booming. It's like booming. Plus, you have to remember, talent is the most important part. Elon Musk runs it. Elon Musk runs it. What? Elon. Yes, also, about 20-minute drive from Buda is Austin, where SpaceX and Tesla's headquarters are. Now, if you go to Austin proper, ridiculously expensive. It's like LA proper. It's very, very expensive in the center of Austin to get something decent. But you start getting out to the outskirts, and Buda is one of them. There's a really, really, really good values that can still be found in Buda. I'm on Lake Travis, which is probably, I don't know, an hour from Buda. But when I look at the stuff, yeah, Buda's probably pretty good.
Yeah, Dennis the tech guy coming with the love. You guys are awesome, sharing all this great information with everyone. You better believe it.
We appreciate you, Dennis the tech guy. We're here for you.
Pink Sounds. How much can you afford earned $70K with $30K debt?
You talked about that.
Okay. So about $70K, I would say you're in the, where is that?
Probably 310, 320, but you don't know how the 30K debt is handled.
Yeah, so that $30K, is that a car payment? Is that student loans? Is that credit card debt? Because that monthly payment is a bigger deal than how much debt you have.
Yeah.
So you can have $100,000 debt not realistic. With a $100 monthly payment, it's not relative. So I need to know what that payment is on that monthly. That's the biggest deal. But that being said, $70K, you're going to be in the $300,000 ranges. So easy. There's a lot of questions below, guys. So just hang tight.
We're catching
going
you.
to
We got
answer
all of
every
you.
single one of them.
Every one of them. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow us on all the platforms in case we get slapped, because we get slapped occasionally.
What do you get slapped for?
I don't know, man.
Perfect. I'm at the conditional approval part. See, this is what we're talking about the underwriting.
This is so confusing. Yeah, Dakota Bradshaw. If you are conditionally approved, that's great. That means you're approved as long as you meet these conditions.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes the conditions can get rough, but it means you're approved. It means that your loan officer put it together correctly. You actually went through processing. You made it through the underwriter. Now they come back with this. Now, when you see the loan officer's list, it's ridiculous. The loan officer should just give you your little tiny piece, which is usually 4, 5, 6, 10 items or something like that. But their piece is ridiculous. It's like ridiculously large.
You don't want to see that one.
Yeah, you don't want to see it. Yeah.
TikToker, this is a great question. Why are banks so stringent to loan for a property when it's secured compared to auto loans?
TikToker, because it's not so stringent. Remember that they're not in the business of providing you a home. They don't give a shit about providing you a home. They don't. They might tell you, hey, watch the commercial. We like to help families get a home. No, they don't. They want to make money. I mean, just straightforward.
Family, single,
yeah, they want to make money. They want to make money. And in order to make money, they have to lend money. So they lend money, but guess where they borrow the money from? Guess where they get the money from? The investor of the money, or the insurer of the money, is FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA, or VA. So these are all either government entities or government-sponsored entities. So the problem in this is if we lend you $500,000, I don't mean we because I'm just a loan officer, I work here. But if they lend you $500,000 and you decide not to pay, you say, nope, not paid, what are you going to do? It's not so easy to get you out. It's kind of hard. They got to go 3 months and then they got to go to foreclosure. And if you actually know the game, you can probably kick that can down the road for a year and you got free housing for a year. And guess who the only one liable for it at that point is? The bank. And that's why they make it difficult, because they choose not to allow you to overextend yourself. And the barrier to entry is a loan officer. Loan officers should be licensed by the NMLS, National Mortgage Licensing System. My NMLS is 944254. His is
1066958.
Cool. And every loan officer that allows you in has to understand certain things and keep up with certain things in order to make sure you qualify.
Dakota Bradshaw, Super 80, Raj Vinder, Dakota Bradshaw again. Thank you all for the love. Do me a favor, guys. Big favor right now. Give me a bunch of hearts and shares and likes and all kinds of things.
Put a mustache on this guy. Put a cap on him.
We want to be able to get more people in here to ask more questions to help the world.
You know what's really cool? I actually see 3 clients that I've closed in the last 3 months in the feed right now. It's amazing. I love it. We actually help people that are in this feed. I don't out them. If they want to out themselves, they can. But I'm looking at 3 people that we have actually closed deals for in the last 3 months. Love you guys. We appreciate it very much. Sometimes they come to us with problems. I literally have a client who came to me and goes, hey, Lee, I don't like this situation that I'm in. I really don't like it, and I feel like I'm stuck, and I have to buy. And I said, you don't have to buy. You don't have to. You might lose your EMD. If you had a good realtor or you didn't put too much EMD, that's earnest money deposit. But you don't have to buy. Nobody can force you to buy. How much was your EMD? Let's just say $1,000. Cool. Are you willing to lose $1,000 to walk away from this? Yes. Perfect. Then let's get you something that you actually want, that you're going to work for, that you're going to love. When you're done, you're happy and not pissed off that you had to buy something. We get people like that all the time. We appreciate you guys very much, very much.
Thank you for bringing that up. Getting pre-qualified, guys, just really lets you know where you stand. There's no commitment. You don't have to buy a house. Like he said, no one can make you. But what it does do is it allows you to see your challenges, so we can send you down the path of solving anything that you may need to actually buy a house down the road. So think about that. Link in the bio if you want to start your application. Dakota Bradshaw, I'm in Gerald, Texas. Great prices right now. Where's Gerald?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. Where's Jarrell? I think it's Jarrell.
Jarrell.
Yeah. Find out where's Jarrell, Texas, because I like I tell everybody, my primary residence is on Lake Travis. I have another house in California. I go back and forth between the two. Love Texas, love Texas, love Texas. I know a lot of the areas. Got a lot clients that do a lot of business in Houston. So I like to know about these different places. And I give you my experience, but I'm open to everything.
Yeah. Connor Amato in the house. What's up, my man? How was your guys' weekend?
It was amazing, Connor. It was amazing.
It was amazing. How was yours, man? How was yours? Mama Kobe's back. Can you guide me, sir? We just did. You got to either call one of these phone numbers. Either call one of these phone numbers or go to the link in the bio. It says apply for a home loan now and just start the process. But if you want to talk to us, take one of these phone numbers, guy. If you want help buying a house, we will help you. Just do one of those two things.
What are some types of conditions? Okay, so the basic ones are this. Hey, you have to prove to me that you're working. That's a condition. Prove to me that you actually are employed or you make the money that you have. That's a condition. Prove to me that you're divorced. That's a condition. Prove to me your dad's giving you $20,000 and actually has it. That's a condition. There's a bunch of ways that the conditions get laid out, but there are conditions.
Rajvinder coming with the good questions, and Lee's about to go on a tangent right now. He's going to show you charts and graphs and whatnot, so settle in. Here we go. When are interest rates coming down?
Okay, cool. So this is a bigger question than what it looks like because it has to do with the state of our economy. And the interest rates are by far 100% governed by the FOMC, Fair Opens Market Committee, or we call it the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has 12 members, and they're all very smart people, super smart people. And they all put the forecast out. They say, when are rates going up or when are they going down? Well, recently, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, his name is Jerome Powell, he came out and said, we believe we've reached the peak of the economic cycle because our cycles go up and down. And then, if you go to the FOMC website, you will see this. And these are the Fed members. All the Fed members, this is current right now, are saying we should be at 5.25 to 5.5, which is where we're at, 5.25 to 5.5. But over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, down to calendar year 2026, they are saying that we should be at 2.5. The Fed funds rate will be at 2.5, and this says calendar year 2026 into 2027, which means we know the cycle's going to do this. It's going to go down, but they're not in a hurry. Nor they should be, by the way. This is a very slow, steady process. It's very important. If the rates dropped 1 point tomorrow, buyers would be thrilled. Sellers would be thrilled. And our economy would be screwed. We would be screwed. If you actually understand economics, we would be screwed. The right way to do this is slow and steady. Think of an airplane coming in on an approach. You don't want to just drop 1,000 feet like that. You want to slowly come down so that you guide this thing. And when are they coming down? They are coming down slowly, according to the Federal Reserve, not me, up until the year 2026 and even into 2027.
Dude, we're almost there. We're first quarter gone in 2024.
I know, first quarter gone
Second quarter
already.
today, guys.
That's crazy.
But here's what's cool about this chart, guys, is how you see how it trends down. This is how your interest rates go. But if you flip this, this is what the values are going to do.
That's a good point.
I'm serious, man. That's what really happens.
And the FOMC members, if you want to get into this stuff, it's not that hard. These are the people, you can Google it. Chairman of the Federal Reserve is Jerome Powell. There are 7 what's called governors and then 5 bank members that get put in and out. And they're very smart people. That's the important part. They're very smart. And these super smart people, right now, the majority of them say we should be at 5.5 to 5.25. But the next increment, some of them say we should drop down to 5. Some say we should go up to 6.25. What? Yeah, and there's 12 members, and they come together, and they make sure that our economy's on a good course.
And this is the problem, guys. So when we're listening to the experts that are out there giving their opinion as to when rates are coming down, they don't know. You know why they don't know? Because the people in charge don't know.
They don't know.
They're all over the place.
They don't know. Fed Waller spoke on Thursday and freaked the market out. Fred Waller said, Fed Waller, who's one of the chairmen, they all get to speak from time to time. He said, hey, I don't think things are as good as people think they are. They're horrible. And then the next day, Jerome Powell came out, and he spoke a little more solid. He says, some people have different opinions. We are not changing course. we are still believing 3 interest rate reductions in the calendar year 2024. So that's a big deal because that means rates will be coming down in 24. But you think they're done? No, not according to this. According to this, there's 5 cuts coming in 25 and 3 cuts coming in 26. So that's what they're putting out right now.
So if you're interested in buying a house, still a good time to buy because it keeps, while rates are high, it keeps values down, guys. Once the rates start ticking down, the values start skyrocketing, and that's where big problem. You're going to spend a lot more money than you need to.
Nicole Dvalia, what kind of loan can I use for homes in auctions?
There's only one you can use. There's only one program.
NAF cash.
Cash money?
Yeah, cash.
That's
so
it.
if you're borrowing money, you probably can't go to an auction because they want cash money right now. We do have a program called NAF Cash where you can walk in with the power of cash from New American Funding. They actually pre-approve you, and let's say you're pre-approved for 500 grand, you're allowed to shop 500 grand cash. And it's 2 transactions. One, NAF buys a house and they cash. They just drop cash. And then NAF owns the house and then they sell it to you, which is a normal escrow 30-day transaction.
Yep. Christian Noel, Rajvinder, I hope Lee's response to your question was helpful.
Yeah.
Pinks, 14K student loan, 12K loans, 25K loans. Got some loans. Congratulations.
Yes. So it's going to boil down to, she's talking about the 30,000 in...
Oh, it's the breakdown.
Yeah,
okay,
so
so
the
the student loans is actually not bad.
Student loans is very good.
12K in private loans is not bad. And everyone has a car loan.
No, they don't.
Everyone has a car loan.
You don't. I don't.
Okay. Every credit that I pull has a car loan.
Okay, fair enough.
So that being said, that's everybody's debt. That's very basic. I'm not even going to say it's that much. So it's very reasonable. The answer in the 300 stands.
Yeah.
E, do you guys loan money to buy a house? Do you?
I don't, but I'm a loan officer for a bank that does. Yeah. So
That's
we
what
help
we
you.
do.
Yeah, we help you. We help you get money to buy a house. He's NMLS number.
1066958.
Mine's 944254. We're here for you.
I close my eyes when I say that.
Okay, cool.
Margot, I heard it has changed that they do have to pull the credit again before closing. Is this true? Where are you getting this information?
Yeah, Margot. So what we do right before we close, so there's 2 different minds. If I pulled your credit, I have 120 days until it's dead. But if it's at 90 and I got a 30-day escrow, I'm not going to make it. So I have to pull it in again. So that will happen. But let's just say I pulled your credit. 60 days later, you're in escrow. We're going to close. I will do a refresh right at the end just to make sure you didn't overextend yourself. And that's where we find out if you got an offer on Kohl's for 10% off and you got a whole new line of credit that I got to go in panic mode. So don't do that. Don't take out any loans while you're in escrow.
Do not do that. Jarrell is 10 minutes from Georgetown. Where's Georgetown?
Give me a second.
I know Georgetown,
it's all
Washington,
Austin.
D.C.
No, it's all Austin area, but it's getting further. Georgetown's this cute
How
little
far
town.
are you from Austin? Let's go that way.
Yeah,
How far from
I'm gonna
Austin?
guess
Dakota.
50 minutes. 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Yeah.
Jennifer Garcia, if a home is $200,000, what kind of income do you need with a 560 credit score and have 10%?
So Janelle, Jennifer Garcia. Jennifer, if it's 200K, good purchase price. 560 credit is going to be the big determining factor. Because if you have 5 trade lines that are chasing you right now, I'm literally dealing with probably 3 files like this. 5 trade lines chasing you right now. Nobody's going to lend you money. Nobody. Why? Because you're like running from other people right now, not paying, going, you told me, Verizon, you didn't tell me you would cut my phone off. You're telling whoever, whatever, you're telling, and then you're going, oh, by the way, trust me, bank, I'm good for it. No, you're not. So we have to find out why you have a 560 FICO. If your 560 FICO was 2 years ago, you're going, hey, I'm not going to pay you. Now you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start paying you guys. I just get it. I'm going to start paying you. Then 560 FICO with 10% down, I could probably make it work pretty easy. $200,000, shoot, 45,000, maybe 50,000, somewhere in that range. But if you're currently running from debtors, and we know, by the way, don't act like we don't. Everybody knows when you take out debt and you put your social security number down in order to get it, they report it to the world. It's not like, well, maybe they won't know about that debt. Maybe they won't know about this. We know. We all know. So I tell people, I'm like, hey, boom, and I'll even go over it with you. I'm like, hey, is this an active debt that you have going on right now? Yes or no? Yes, 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 yes. Cool. If you got 5 trade lines chasing you right now, and then you go to a bank and say, trust me, bro, I'm good for it. None of them are gonna trust you, bro. They're not gonna give you the trust you, bro thing. They're gonna say, sorry, denied. Even if you come in with 10%.
Roxy, that's where I'm trying to buy a home in Texas, but I'm in California. That's how I feel too. I'm like, but I'm in California.
Yeah.
I'm loving Florida, man. You hear what DeSantis is doing out there?
Oh, dude, the DeSantis. I love that squatter thing he just did. It's badass.
Pink Sounds. How can I find grants for down payment and assistance in New York? Don't look for them yourself. But Lee will share some information.
Okay, so first off, Pink Sounds. I really would like that the world is all harmonious and shit, and they give you grants. Kind of nobody gives you grants. Every grant that I've ever seen kind of comes with a catch. They got a catch. I'll give you an example. We have right now something called a Platinum, and it's a down payment assistance grant. So here's the catch with the down payment assistance grant. Let's just say that I qualified you for an FHA, and I said, hey, Pink Sounds, you're qualified for an FHA loan. This is amazing. I'm very happy. You got a great FICO score. Yeah, we're going to qualify you first with you bringing in your 3.5% down. All right, cool. Just bring your 3.5% down. All right, awesome, cool. And then you say, hey, I want to do the grant. Oh, okay. So you're 3.5% down. Let's just say in this scenario, you're qualified at 6%. But I want to use the Platinum grant. Well, the Platinum grant, all right, cool. If you want to do that, first off, you were qualified for $500,000, but now you're qualified for $420 because they back off your buying power. That's part of it.
Okay? Wow, look at my TikTok hat.
Hey, you got a TikTok hat, dude. Oh, that's badass.
Who gave me that?
That's pretty badass. Thank you. So then, Rajvinder, badass. So then the next thing they do is they're going to tell you, hey, yeah, you know that 6% you were qualified at? Well, it's 7.25 now. But wait, how come the interest rate went up so much? Because you wanted a grant.
You wanted free money.
Yeah, it's free money.
It's not free.
It's never free. There's a catch always. So a lot of people, when they first start looking, they're like, hey, there must be grants out there. There must be loans out there. Even loan officers, they're running around going, oh, these down payments, because they don't know enough yet to know that everything comes with the catch. Everything. Nothing is catch free. If it is, it's eaten up in a second. But nothing's catch free. Everything has some type of catch.
Yep. Christian Noel said, oh, wow, that's great news. Thank you for explaining. Dennis with the best commercial ever called Lee for help on our mortgage application last week. Stop hesitating.
Call
and
Chris
call
and
Lee.
We love you, Dennis, the tech guy. We love you very much. We love you. We're working on it. Yes, sir.
Aquari Cherry. Doesn't the credit score go down?
It goes up and it goes down like a seesaw. I don't know what that means.
When?
I think you're thinking when we pull your credit. If we're the only one to pull your credit, probably not. But if you had 5 loan officers pull your credit in the last 2 weeks, yeah, probably a lot. Yep. 1, probably not. 2, maybe a little bit. 3, maybe a little bit. You start getting to 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you know why? Because mortgage, big F word, mortgage F.
Yeah.
Because you can have 5 loans going and the banks don't know it. And they won't know till they fund. And when they fund, there was a big thing going on. So when you have too many people, too many loan officers pull your credit, it does make your credit score go down. But 1 or 2, maybe, but mostly likely no.
Guys, it's discipline. Credit is discipline. If you have discipline, your credit scores are going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have discipline, it's going to be crap. And you know what it is. You don't tell us like you don't know. You know exactly where your credit stands. So, anyways, get the process started. Yeah. Hey, said Margot, what if you're closing in 30 days? What's that question about?
That's great news. If you're closing in 30 days, well, I think she was talking about the credit. I think that's the one that's talking about the credit. Depends on how long ago they pulled your credit. So you need to have a NMLS licensed loan officer pull your credit. That's the rules. That's the way Dodd-Frank sets if you're going for FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, or Freddie Mac. A NMLS loan officer has to pull your credit. There's going to be a date on that, and then it goes good for 120 days, but it's dead at 120 days. Dead. Which means if it's 90 days in, we have to re-pull your credit.
Austin is 25 minutes from Jared.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right, cool.
What did DeSantis do?
Okay, you're going to love this, Christian Noel. You're going to love this. So, in California, somebody can go find a vacant house, move their stuff in, and it's a gigantic nightmare to get them out because the laws in California favor the squatter. What? It's crazy. It's insane. It's crazy. It's like insane crazy.
But we have big hearts here in California.
Yeah, no.
Big hearts.
And this is the way it is kind of across the country. They favor the squatter. However, Texas just passed the law on Friday that said no more favoring the squatter. We now favor the landlord. And you can get that squatter out through any means necessary. Legally, of course. But there's going to be some very good videos on TikTok about people getting kicked out because they're squatters. It's a very horrible thing. If you're a landlord, it's terrifying. I own properties, and I'm terrified of getting a bad tenant. A bad tenant. I'd rather lose money on a good tenant than risk a bad tenant. That's the truth of the matter.
Not just that, but they protect their people. And here's why. So one of the sheriffs in one of the counties, I don't know which one, he basically said someone is walking through the front door of your house and they're not invited. You're allowed to protect yourself. Protect yourself.
No. In Texas, that's Florida too. That's
Florida. No, it's Florida.
He's like, we encourage you to shoot intruders and shoot. Thank you. We encourage you to pew intruders.
Protect yourself.
Yeah, we encourage you to protect yourself with the .357 Magnum against intruders a lot. Yes. Not just a little bit, a lot.
And it saves taxpayer money.
Taxpayer money. That's what the sheriff said. He's so like,
Florida's
if you do it correctly,
right,
you save the taxpayers a lot of money.
Florida.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see. Jennifer Garcia, the biggest debt I have is from an apartment from 6 years ago, 7K, another small loan 5 years ago, 400.
The only way we would know, Jennifer, is to pull your credit. And by the way, if you're looking at your credit through freecreditreport.com or Credit Karma, it's not what we pull. They're different verticals. So like automobile has a vertical. What's the other one? Oh God, credit cards have a vertical.
Loans.
And student loans have a vertical, and then mortgages have a vertical. So when we pull your credit, it's going to be different. I promise you it's going to be different. And then I'll actually have where you're at. Because once I know where you're at, I can figure out how to get you where you need to go. But if you're like, hey, I think I've got a 662 FICO score, but I don't want you to pull my credit, usually I'm done with the conversation. I'm like, when you're serious, call me. I got way too many people. But if you don't want me to pull your credit, I won't. I don't give a shit. I won't even know your name when I hang up. But if I do decide that I'm going to take your case and move on, I will fight like a freaking pit bull to make sure you get a house. I will. But if you're like, hey, I don't want you to really pull my credit, can't you just trust me and tell me how much I can buy? No.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Christian Noel. Yeah, I've heard about that. That's insane.
It is insane. It's crazy.
Rajvinder, exciting someone now. So annoying. Evicting someone now. You're evicting someone, Rajvinder?
Oh my God, that's hard. It's really hard, especially if you're in the wrong state. Oh, it's hard. It's very hard.
She's right here with us.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. LA's horrible.
Cool Your Brews, very entertaining and educational. Appreciate you, Cool Your Brews. We try.
Christian Noel, laughing my ass off. I'm from Florida, so I love that. You should be able to protect yourself and family.
Yeah, bang, bang, protect. Bang, and then back up, bang.
100%.
Alexandria, followed the host. We appreciate you very much. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube answering your questions on how to get a mortgage. You want to know what's going on? You want to know what the interest rates are? You want to know whether they're going down, whether it's a good time to buy, what you should do. Should you refinance? Ask the questions. We'll tell you.
Time for commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by calling the number on the screen right now. Actually, don't call it right now because we're live. We won't answer. But call it after we're live. That's it.
Or you can go to the link in the bio, click on Apply for a Home Loan Now, and get the process started. Cool Your Brews. 2 home, 1 lot property. How can I separate the two to create my own entity? Co-borrower and I on the loan.
2 home, 1 lot. Okay, so I've dealt with this.
I've been on the website.
And it's not easy to separate the property because you have city ordinances to deal with. First off, it has to meet the requirements, and sometimes it's real estate requirements, and sometimes you have to have so many square feet in order to have 2 properties, because there's a lot of people that build ADUs on a property, and then they're like, hey, I got an ADU, can I just make it another house? Well, that's cute, but you can't just execute and then ask for forgiveness, because if it doesn't meet the city ordinance, you better be very well politically connected, because you need a waiver, and that's not that easy to get depending on how your city is formatted. I know this firsthand because I've tried to do it and I did not get the waiver, and I found out the hard way. Damn. And I built 2 gigantic houses on a 36 acre parcel, and I couldn't split it. I tried and I couldn't split it, so I had to sell the whole thing with 2 parcels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jasmine, what will be the minimum down payment if I want to buy a condo and sell my old one?
Minimum down payment. Can you do it? You can do a dab all day long, right? Mm-hmm. All day, every day. Mm-hmm. All day, every day. Jasmine, the minimum, the absolute positive minimum you can get away with is 0.
Boom.
0.
Boom.
0. Now, is that the best one? Probably not. But is it the minimum? Yes. Now, we could go FHA, but there's a problem with condos, because I'd say 70% of condos are not FHA approved. What? Yeah. Would you say 70%?
Yeah, most of them.
70% are not FHA approved. And there's lots of reasons for it. I can explain it. It actually makes sense. But 70% of condos are not FHA approved. And you could go conventional, but 60% of condos are not Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac approved. So condos are a little different because you can get in cheaper, but they can run your show with their HOAs, with their special assessments. What are they? The maintenance fees. They can really change your game a lot at will, just because they want to, because the condo association said so.
That being said, if anyone can do it, we can.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, we can. No doubt about it.
Richard, isn't the government great?
Yeah.
We're here to help you.
Amazing.
We're here to help you.
What did Reagan say? The 5 most terrifying words. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Yeah. I think it was 5 or 7 or whatever. But he was right. I don't trust the government. I'm a veteran. I love my country. I don't trust my government. I do not trust my government. I love my country. My son is active duty military because I recommended he go spend some time and serve his country. I don't trust my government. I don't trust them.
Dude, you let your kids stay with a babysitter you don't trust?
What?
What's up with that? George, what is the average interest rate for an FHA loan for someone who has credit 750 plus and has no debt?
So average is a very tricky number, because I can tell you what New American Funding is putting out. They are saying that you can get a 5.75% interest rate on the website. If you go to newamericanfunding.com, don't believe me, go to the links at the top, go to cool stuff, today's rates. You'll see today's rates. You'll look at what I'm looking at, 5.75. However, the rate is influenced by a lot of things. Part of what the rate is influenced by is how much are you putting down. If you're putting very little down, it does bring the rate up a little bit. If you put a lot down, it brings the rate down a little bit. FICO score is a very big determining factor. So you have a high FICO. You've already said it. That's awesome. That will help you. And then, are you buying beyond your means? That's called debt to income ratio. The max debt to income ratio I can do on FHA is 56, which means 56% of all of your income is going to all of your debts. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're pushing that red line, your rate's not going to be that great. Mm-hmm. But if you're at 21% DTI and you put money down, you're going to get the best rate out there.
Not to mention that when you're looking at the interest rates, we pull credit across the nation, guys. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you that based on my opinion, most people are somewhere between 6.375 to 6.75. So somewhere in that range. Most, not all. Mm-hmm. Most. Cool your brews, you're welcome. Michael, is a man cave with a bathroom considered ADU? In Sacramento, I need permits.
Well, here's what is considered an ADU. Anything permitted by the city that is permitted as an ADU. That's it. You can't just call something and then try and back it in. The reason is, I know I'm building an ADU on one of my properties right now. And I thought, okay, cool, I'll hire an architect. All right, cool. So I hire an architect, I take it to the city, and the city says, cool. How do we know the soil will support the weight of this new ADU? And I'm like, I don't know. Isn't that what you're supposed to tell me? They're like, no. You need a land survey to prove that it can support the weight. And I said, well, wait a minute. how do I get a land survey? You hire a land survey company. Every time somebody says you got to hire somebody, it seems to cost me $4,000 or $5,000 every time. So I can't just go, hey, you know that shed I bought at Home Depot and I put a bed in there? That's an ADU, right? No, it has to be done by the code, whatever the city says, and then you have to follow their rules.
That's a dungeon.
Fair.
Edgar, I co-signed for my wife. Would I lose my opportunity for first-time home buyer credit for myself? That's a weird question.
You go.
I'm going to start with Florida's fantastic because it doesn't apply to this. Florida's fantastic. Okay, Edgar, here it is. Okay, so yes, you would lose your opportunity as a first-time home buyer, okay? Because you guys are both on the loan. You guys both own the house. But my question is, why are you looking for a first-time home buyer if your wife already owns a home? This is where it starts getting strange. And this is the same thing the underwriter is going to ask. They're going to say, first-time home buyer, married, she lives over there, they live in the same city. This is an issue. So, yes, you would lose your first-time home buyer. That being said, what state are you in? Because some states are community property. So if you're in Florida and a husband owns a home and the wife wants to buy a house, they don't conflict. In my state of California, that is community property state, what that means is if the wife bought a house and then the husband wants to buy a house, depending on the loan we go with, we have to pull the wife's debt and add it to the husband's file. So it's tricky in every state. Everyone's a little bit different, but I'll tell you what, these problems don't exist in Florida.
Let me add one more thing to it. First-time home buyer programs, there's only really two big programs. There's only two. Home Possible and Home Ready, that's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Now, I think the deeper question you're asking is, can I get an FHA loan on my own name? If you're a non-occupant co-borrower on your wife's and you can prove you don't live there, you're not an occupant co-borrower, and you live in a different city, state. I have a couple that one person is stationed in Virginia and the other one lives in Texas. Can they prove they live in different states? Sure. Are they married? Sure. Is this one co-signing for this one? Yes. Is this one co-signing for this one? Yes. But it makes sense because he's in the military and that's his primary residence. So there are ways that we can make it work. Don't confuse first-time home buyer with FHA.
And don't get married.
And don't get married.
Gio Mara.
Dude, you're freaking cynical.
Hey, man, it ruins everyone's real estate transactions.
You're cynical.
How much is too much debt when buying a home for a first time, even if I make no late payments? How much is too much debt?
$1,198.
Depends on how much you make, man.
$1,198. Yeah.
I don't know how much you make.
Yeah, it's all relative, man. If you make $50,000 a month and you have $3,000 a month in debt, no problem at all. But if you make $4,000 a month and you have $3,000 a month in debt, that's a big problem. So it's all relative, man.
You offer HELOC?
We offer HELOC all day, every day.
Quick commercial.
All day. If you need a badass loan officer.
I'm like, quick. You're like,
if you need a badass loan officer, call Badass Loan Officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee at New American Funding, by calling the number on the screen. It's going to disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Dang, that was good. I loved it. Edgar, already answered that question.
Okay.
Michael, on rate, can you get seller's credit to buy down the rate?
You can. Is it a good idea? Probably not. Probably not. If you want to know why, ask.
There you go. Julie, any new program for buyers in Southern California?
Oh, Julie, like you set it up for a slam dunk. Like you set it up, man. There's something called the Dream for All program. If you're looking for a house and you're on TikTok or on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube, you're going to hear about Dream for All. Dream for All program is going to help you with 20% down. Whoa, that sounds amazing. 20% down. If you're buying a $500,000 house, Dream for All, 100 G's. They're good for 100 G's.
Yeah.
100 G's.
Big money.
100 G's, yeah. Is it good? I don't know about that. Yeah. But is it out there? It's out there.
There you go.
If you want to know why, ask.
There's also another one that we have in-house right here at New American Funding. You can only find it here, and it doesn't have a lot of the restrictions that program that he's talking about has. So call us, Julie. Ikra, is there a way to buy a first home without down payment?
Yes, all day, every day. We got zero down programs, multiple zero down programs. You better have really good credit, very good income. It exists. Given the choice, being in the business, funding tons of loans, and owning rental properties, I wouldn't use them. But if it means the difference between you getting a house and not getting a house, then I'd use it.
Edgar, straight out of Peoria, Arizona.
Straight out of Compton.
I love Arizona too.
Peoria.
That's good
Peoria.
taxes and
Yep.
good tax rate. Very low in Arizona.
0, right? Isn't it 0? No income tax.
It's close to like 7.7. User 9163. Thoughts on taking out a second for down on a house?
Thoughts on taking out a second for a house? You better know what you're doing. That's the answer. If you know what you're doing, it can be very lucrative. But if you're just guessing, if it's your first time, probably not a good idea. You know why? Because the second's going to come in with a very high interest rate. You know what your second mortgage is going to come in? 9 to 15%. But wait, Lee, you said 5.75. I didn't say 5.75. I said I'm reading off of New American Funding's website. It says 5.75, and that's for a primary residence. Second homes, way different situation. Second mortgage, way different situation.
Nana, happy Easter, amazing guys.
What's up, Nana?
Giving you a hug.
He did a hug.
Giving you a hug.
I'm going to back off so they don't think we're hugging. You're hugging me.
Nana.
Cool.
Right, Michael's back. I need a land surveyor, even though I have already have a 10 by 20 cement pad.
Yeah, that happens, man. You can't ask forgiveness. They're gonna want to make sure everything's done by code.
Oh, Christian wants to ask. He said, why is it not a good idea to buy down the rate? Is it because they're supposed to come down?
So Christian, I had this conversation. It's a good conversation with I did this loan for a guy in Austin. And he's a real high Google engineer guy, makes a ton of money. And he qualified for the loan easily. And at the time, the rates were 6.5%, and he had to buy it down to 6.5. And he says, Lee, the 6.5, that's how we built the loan. Okay, cool. And I said, okay, it's time to lock the rate. I can lock you at 6.5, right about 10 grand, what we talked about. And he goes, okay, Lee, what would you do? And I said, I wouldn't take the 6.5. Okay, what would you do? I would take 7.825. Wow, that's a big difference. Why? And I said, okay, because your 6.5 is going to cost you 10 grand. You already knew about that. I built it into loan. 10 grand. It's going to cost you 10 grand. But if I give you 7.825, you don't pay that 10 grand, and I'm going to give you 10 grand. So now you have $20,000, okay? $20,000. You want to put that in an account.
Can't hear you. Your mic died.
Oh, dude, thank you. We are working on it. Oh, dude, I'm about to get.
You're good.
I'm about to get canceled, man.
We're live.
I'm about to get canceled. I started doing this whole thing, the whole sign language. Okay, go.
Doing katas?
Dude, I started doing katas. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off with a fast recap. I had a client doing a loan in Austin, Texas, high tech guy making a ton of money. And in order to get to 6.5% down, it was going to cost him 10 grand. I told him I would do 7.825. He said, justify. I said, instead of paying 10 grand, I'm going to give you 10 grand. Now you have $20,000. But it's going to cost you $400 more a month. Whoa, what? $400 more a month? Yeah, $400 more a month. But here's the catch. It does not matter if you buy at 6.5 or 7.825. When the rates come down in about 1.5 to 2 years, you're going to refinance. So if you pay $10,000 to buy a lower rate and then you refinance again, well, now you don't know if you got the money's worth out of that. And depending on when you refinance, you're probably going to want to buy it down again. But if you do it my way and you take 20 grand and you just knock out that $400 every single time, that's 3 years before you break even. 3 years. Well, if you look at the Federal Reserve's chart, within 3 years, they are anticipating the Fed funds rate to be at 2.5%. 2.5%. What? Yes. So now, if you put that 20 grand and you just start knocking at it, if you refinance somewhere in there, you've actually made money and you gamed the bank. So, if it were me, I wouldn't take the 6.5. I would take the 7.825. But that's only because you have the income for it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah. If you don't have the income for it, don't do that. If you're barely making it and that $400 means that much money to you, don't do it. This guy, he makes one of the tech guys. He makes a boatload of money, boatload. And I said, hey, listen, you're not hurting for income. This is a wise financial decision. It's very wise. So he said, he was an engineer. Just once I put the numbers in front of him, he says, everything you said tracks. I'll take the 7.825.
You know what time it is? I'm Chris. That's Lee.
Are we out?
Yep.
Dude, we've been Chris and Lee. We appreciate you.